Soul Calibur 3 has obviously made its way to PlayStation Plus, which is really awesome because for the very first time, people will be experiencing Soul Calibur 3, which is really good because I think Soul Calibur 3 does need much love when it comes to, from like fans and even new fans. So it's really great that obviously Bandai gave that chance by dropping it on PlayStation Plus. Of course, I'd rather have these games actually, purchasable on their own rather than just being locked by subscription. That goes to Soul Calibur 2 on Nintendo Switch, to use GameCube that. I'd rather these games kind of be sold separately so it's just easier that way and that you can get to keep them. But of course, you have to fork up, I don't know how much these days for subscriptions just to play this one game. You probably just want to play and just be done with it. The question a lot of people have, does this mean that obviously Bandai is kind of acknowledging Soul Calibur? In a sense, yes, because again, they dropped Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube and obviously Soul Calibur 3 on PlayStation Plus. So it's kind of giving that sort of vibe, but I still think that's very far from the truth because they didn't obviously put trophies in, which would have actually been a lot better in a way to actually help people play because they want to unlock these sort of achievements. But of course, this is definitely where you can see the low effort in this port. And to be fair, I don't know if a lot of people have complained. I haven't obviously have a PlayStation 5 myself to really get this obviously understanding whether there's actually a really good port or not. But for the most part, people have been enjoying it massively. Again, this game is one you can sink hours into thanks to its actual single player content. Also, where it falls short is obviously its actual balancing of the game with the roster. Like for example, Tira is not great. She's actually not the best character, but we all know who's actually in this game, and that is obviously Sophitia and obviously Shangwa. So those two, of course, naturally clears the whole roster easily. But of course, again, they didn't really do much with this port, from what I know of. So it's pretty safe in that sense. It's kind of just, they dumped it there, called it quits. Obviously, it's a lot higher res, and probably textures are a lot better, but that's it for the most part. I don't think this is a real indicator that it is coming back, but what it could mean is that we probably might see some more ports along the way, specifically obviously for Soul Calibur 4 and 5. Maybe they can actually make this a double pack and sell on its own. I don't think locking this by a subscription is such a wise idea. The only reason why I say this is because these games are the ones that are really mixed in the series. Of course, you could say Soul Calibur 6, but it actually kind of done things right for the most part. Yes, there are some flaws that the game has, but for the most part, it definitely does do a good job in what it's trying to do. So it could possibly get a collection of sorts. To be fair, we need Soul Calibur 1. I'm not sure if that's actually on the PlayStation Plus subscription already, but if that's not the case, then I would actually say that probably do a collection. I still think you can do a collection of these games regardless, because there's only certain versions, like Soul Calibur 2, although yes, it got the Link version. Maybe you want to play the version that had Heihachi or Spawn in it. So, we might get something along those lines. But we definitely need something for Soul Calibur 4 and 5, because those games are pretty much stuck on PlayStation 3, and we really need them on modern platforms right now. So that would be really cool if we could actually get those games. Although I wonder if the hurdle really would become the online functionality. I don't know if they would really add it or they'll just call it quits and not bother with it, but we'll see. I think obviously Soul Calibur 3 and obviously Soul Calibur 2 having been released for the platforms we have this year is definitely telling, because I think they want to gauge how much people actually want Soul Calibur to come back. And obviously if there's a high demand and they're seeing high rate, then obviously it's a clear sign that Soul Calibur probably needs to make a comeback. At least this is the impression I'm getting. And I think this is probably their safe way of doing it. Smart way actually, in my opinion. But of course, we will see how they would actually progress with this. Of course, Soul Calibur really does need to come back. If anything, now is the best time due to just 3D fighting games as a whole just being mainly saturated with Tekken, which great game, but it's definitely not Soul Calibur, that's for sure. And Soul Calibur plays very differently from the rest. So I think this game coming back would be great. I do imagine probably a collection of sorts, maybe, like I said, but we'll have to wait and see. Perhaps maybe even a remake of sorts for one of these games. I think maybe something along the lines of Fatal Fury Save the Wolves, one of these games, where they kind of remake it, add certain more content to it, and, kind of play it safe. It's not like you're making a game fully from the ground up. You're of course making the game from the ground up, but in the sense of you have something to work with rather than just come up with something entirely new, which would probably be so even more costly. We'll have to wait and see where things go when it comes to Soul Calibur, but I definitely just wanted to make a little quick video here. If you guys did enjoy this and you do love Soul Calibur, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button for more Soul Calibur content on the channel. And yes, I definitely do need to work on the Soul Calibur 2 arcade ladders, and heck, even some of the other modes, like obviously survival mode, which I didn't know that was kind of like 2 editions. Oh, I knew it had 2 editions, but obviously you got the normal just survival mode, and then you got the endless one. I thought that was both endless, not knowing that one of them is like you have to fight 50 opponents and then you actually complete it. So I'm definitely gonna peek at that one, so don't you worry, I do plan to, which will definitely take a long time, and that will probably be the first video where I do a longer video on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But of course, yes, if you enjoyed the videos, do the regular YouTube stuff, and obviously, you know, soul charge that notification button as well, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out guys, and have a lovely day.